These examples are taken from Technical Drawing with Engineering Graphics by Giesecke, 15th edition. This problem is from Chapter 6, Exercise 6.5-1. In this example, let's take a look at how to use some robust modeling techniques. And so this will be from Giesecke, Chapter 6, 6.5, Exercise 1. And so I'm going to start out by turning on the visibility of the origin center point so I know where that's at. And I'm going to start a new sketch on the XY plane. I'll then draw a rectangle from the origin going down to the right, and then I'll dimension that rectangle, the width of it. If I call each block 10 millimeters, and there's 7 blocks, so I'll do 70 millimeters for this distance, and then 30 millimeters for this distance. I'm then going to draw a second rectangle. I can either do this with rectangles or individual lines. If I do it as rectangles, it's 2 simple clicks. So I'll click here and here, and I am done. I'll go ahead and put some dimensions in here. So I'm going to dimension this distance from here to here as 10, or 1 block. I'll dimension from here to here as 15, or 1.5 blocks. And I'll dimension from here to here also as 15. And then I'm going to finish this sketch, and I'm going to rotate around a bit, and I'm going to go to the top plane, and I'll do a new sketch on that top plane, and I'm going to draw a rectangle from this point, and I'll bring it back here about like that. And then I want this point though right here to be coincident with that point, so I'll do coincident, and I'll select that point, and then so I try to select this point and it's not selecting it automatically, so I'll project geometry and project that point first, and then I can do coincident. Now depending on how you have Inventor set up, it might have automatically selected that line. I'm going to then dimension the depth of the part, and so that will be 40. And then I'm going to draw another rectangle from this point over here, about like that, and I'll draw a couple of circles in here. So I'm going to draw a circle about right here, and I'll draw a circle about right here. I'll then dimension one of these circles, and I'll put in a diameter of 10 on that circle, and then I want the location of that circle from here over to here. I want that distance to be 25, and then for the distance from here up vertically, I want that distance to be 10. Okay, so that circle, notice that these lines are changing color, so when it changes to this black color, that indicates that it's fully defined. It says I still need 5 more dimensions in here, and so I'll go ahead and put some additional dimensions. I'm going to dimension from this circle to this line a distance of 30. I'm going to dimension the distance from here over to here a distance of 40, and then I'll dimension a distance from here to here, and I want this to be 15. Okay, and I can move the dimensions around a little bit to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, so that I can see what I have. Now this circle right here, the position of it still isn't constrained. It's supposed to be 40 from here over, which is the same position as that line, so I'll do a coincident. This center point of this circle is coincident with that line. And then I also need to put in the size of this circle. I could dimension it, but I'll do equal. This circle is equal size to that one, and so if I change this one, it will automatically update that one. I'm going to finish sketching. Now I'm going to rotate around and look and see what we have. So what I've done is sketched out the front view of this, at the top view of this. So I'm going to do extrude, and I'm going to select this profile in here, and I want this to go back, and for the distance, tool for 2, and I'm going to extrude that to that point. And so I have the depth of the part, and then I'll do extrude again, and this time I'm going to select inside this circle, inside this circle, and inside this rectangle, and I want that to go through all, and I want it to be cut from the material that I started with. And so there is my part. I'll go ahead and save that, and then I'll go to the drawing. For the drawing, I'm going to place the base view. Now notice I can start from the front. I could put in a top view, right side. I could put in an isometric view. I'm going to start from the front view, and I'll go ahead and I'll leave it on 1:1 scale. I'll go ahead and say OK to that. I'm going to drag that view down here in the corner, and then I'm going to do a projected view off of this view for the top, for the right side, and for the isometric. Once I have those 3 positions selected, I'll right click, tell it to create those 3 views. I'll continue along on the annotation tab and start to detail the dimensions on my drawing. So this distance from here to here is 70. Notice as I move the mouse around, the dimension tends to hesitate in certain locations, so that'll put it the correct distance away from the object line. So I'll put the dimension here. I'll do a dimension up here, and I will then do the distance from here to here, and then from here up to here. So now I might want to move this one up a little bit, so I'll just get out of the dimension command and then just drag that dimension to make it look aesthetically pleasing. I'll then go through and put some more dimensions on here. So the distance from here to here, and I'm going to move it down here a little bit to give me some space to dimension inside of here. So I want to dimension from here to this hole, and I want to put that dimension in here, and then I'm going to dimension the distance from the hole to this edge, and I'll dimension from here to this edge, and I will dimension this distance. And I could either dimension this distance or this distance. Actually, I've already got that dimension from here to here, so I don't need that again. And this hole is lined up on here. I need the height of that hole, so let's move this dimension over a little bit, and I'll put in the height of this hole from here up, and then once I get that in, I'll hit escape, and I can move my dimensions around to make them look aesthetically pleasing. Okay, I need the distance from front to back. I'll put that over in this view, and so the 40 millimeters, and so I think that completes all of the dimensions for this design. So we've done our first 3D model, and then our drawing from the 3D model.